Hi, I'm Tom Watson. As this will be my last year playing the Open Championship here at St. Andrews, I'm here today to deliver a priceless surprise to a true fan who has a special connection to the game.
Tom Watson, one of golf's true legends with 8 major championships to his name, recently revealed his favorite golfers, and the list tells us everything about what he values in the game. At 76 years old, Watson's perspective has been shaped by 5 decades of competitive golf, and his selections aren't just about who won the most tournaments. They're about something deeper, something that goes to the heart of what makes golf truly great. Watson's choices reflect a lifetime of understanding what it means to compete at the highest level, to feel the weight of expectation in crucial moments, and to respect those who pushed him to his absolute limits. Watson's career was defined by his mastery of links golf, particularly his 5 Open Championship victories. He was the world's #1 player from 1978 to 1982, taking that title from none other than Jack Nicklaus. His legendary chip-in at Pebble Beach in 1982 and the duel in the sun at Turnberry in 1977 remain 2 of golf's most iconic moments. These weren't just victories, they were moments where Watson had to summon everything he had under the most intense pressure imaginable. During his prime, Watson accumulated 39 PGA Tour victories and claimed the PGA Tour Player of the Year award 6 times. He topped the money list 5 times, establishing himself as the dominant force in professional golf during an era when competition was exceptionally fierce. The only major championship that eluded Watson was the PGA Championship, which prevented him from achieving the career Grand Slam. This distinction places him in company with other legends who came tantalizingly close to completing the set of all 4 majors. Yet Watson's legacy is defined not by what he didn't win, but by the extraordinary manner in which he claimed his victories. His style of play combined aggressive shot-making with exceptional mental fortitude, and his ability to perform under pressure became the defining characteristic of his career. Watson understood that golf at the highest level isn't merely about technical perfection, it's about character, will, and the capacity to execute when everything is on the line. The first group of Watson's favorites comes from his own competitive era, and it's no coincidence that each of these men tested him at crucial moments in his career. Jack Nicklaus tops the list, and their rivalry was one of the most intense yet friendly in sports history. At the 1977 Open at Turnberry, they produced golf that seemed almost impossible. Nicklaus shot 65 and 66 in the final 2 rounds, but Watson somehow went one better with 65 and 65, winning by a single stroke. It was the first time anyone had broken 270 in a major championship. The 2 men separated themselves so completely from the field that it became a pure head-to-head battle, a test of nerves and skill that elevated both players to heights they might not have reached without each other. Nicklaus represented the ultimate standard against which Watson measured himself. The Golden Bear had already established himself as perhaps the greatest player in history, and every victory Watson claimed over Nicklaus carried special significance. At the 1982 United States Open at Pebble Beach, Nicklaus was in the clubhouse having posted a score that would have given him a record 5th United States Open title. Watson arrived at the par 3 17th hole tied with Nicklaus and facing what appeared to be an impossible lie in the rough. His caddy suggested he try to get it close, but Watson famously replied that he was going to hole it, and he did, chipping in for birdie in what many consider the most dramatic shot in golf history. That moment denied Nicklaus another major and secured Watson's only United States Open victory. Lee Trevino earned his place by challenging Watson at the 1980 Open at Muirfield. Trevino shared the first round lead with Watson, both shooting 68, and held the outright lead after 36 holes with a total of 135. Though Watson ultimately pulled away in the final 2 rounds with a closing 69, Trevino finished as the closest challenger 4 strokes back at 275. Trevino's inclusion signifies Watson's respect for a player who maintained elite competitive prowess, even while managing back issues that would eventually affect his career longevity. Trevino was a charismatic figure with multiple major championships of his own, and his ability to challenge Watson during critical stages of that Open victory demonstrated the enduring quality that Watson admires. Then there's Andy Bean and Hale Irwin, forever linked by the 1983 Open at Royal Birkdale. Both shot brilliant final round 67s, finishing exactly 1 stroke behind Watson at 8, under par with totals of 276. They forced Watson to play his absolute best to avoid a playoff, and that competitive pressure is precisely what Watson respects most. The fact that both players came so close to denying Watson his 5th and final Open championship means they occupy a special place in his memory. These weren't players who faded away or made crucial mistakes. They posted numbers that would have won most major championships, establishing a target that demanded Watson's very best golf on the final day. The selection of Bean and Irwin is particularly interesting because it reveals Watson's specific criteria for respect. While both were accomplished players, neither neither achieved the same level of overall career success as some other Hall of Famers from that era. Yet their specific competitive relevance to Watson, being one stroke away from forcing a playoff at Royal Birkdale, outweighs broader career statistics. Watson values the individuals who personally tested his nerve in what he calls the crucible of moments. He understands the physical and psychological toll of competition because he experienced it firsthand, and he recognizes that the value of a rival is measured by how effectively they challenge the winner's resolve in the most critical situations. Watson's modern selections reveal that he applies the same criteria to today's players, looking for links mastery, mental toughness, and competitive character. Scottie Scheffler is the current world #1 with 3 major championships, representing the peak standard of consistency and mental toughness that Watson values. Scheffler has achieved what observers call generational dominance through sustained excellence and remarkable composure under pressure. His victory at the PGA Championship demonstrated his ability to perform when the stakes are highest, a quality that resonates deeply with Watson's own experience. For Watson, who once held the #1 ranking himself, recognizing Scheffler is an acknowledgement of the player currently defining the absolute peak standard of professional golf. Scheffler's hallmark consistency and mental equilibrium align perfectly with the traits Watson valued during his own prime. In an era where golf has become increasingly athletic and statistically driven, Scheffler stands out for his ability to maintain focus and execute under the intense scrutiny that comes with being the world's best player. Watson appreciates players who can navigate the extreme pressures inherent in holding the top global ranking, understanding from personal experience what that weight feels like. Scheffler becomes the contemporary equivalent of the player who demands greatness from everyone else, raising the standard and forcing his competitors to elevate their own games just to keep pace. Rory McIlroy brings both generational talent and integrity to the list. He's a 4-time major winner and the 2014 Open champion, bringing the links golf credentials that Watson considers essential. McIlroy's Open Championship victory demonstrates his ability to excel in the demanding, unpredictable conditions of seaside golf that Watson mastered during his own career. But McIlroy's inclusion goes beyond his impressive resume. Watson publicly defended McIlroy during the 2025 Ryder Cup when American fans behaved poorly toward him, calling their conduct rude and mean-spirited. McIlroy had been targeted with abusive language that he labeled unacceptable, leading him to pause play at one point during the competition. Watson's decision to openly condemn the fan behavior and congratulate Team Europe after their victory demonstrates that he evaluates players based on their commitment to the integrity and sportsmanship of the game. As a former United States Ryder Cup captain himself, Watson's willingness to criticize American fans and defend a European player speaks volumes about his values. McIlroy's status as a player who stands firm for respect in competition aligns directly with Watson's emphasis on style and grace. His selection represents a dual tribute to spectacular talent and unwavering competitive honor, recognizing both what McIlroy has accomplished on the course and how he conducts himself in representing the game. Perhaps most revealing are Watson's final 2 modern choices, Tyrrell Hatton and Tommy Fleetwood. Neither has won a major championship yet, but both are specialists in links golf, and their inclusion confirms that Watson prioritizes specific skills and competitive character developed in the traditional European golf landscape over a strict accounting of major titles. Hatton has won the Alfred Dunhill Links Championship 3 times, a prestigious European tour event played over traditional Scottish links courses. This demonstrates his specialized mastery of the demanding conditions that Watson himself conquered during his 5 Open Championship victories. Fleetwood finished as runner-up at the 2019 Open at Royal Portrush and is consistently regarded as a threat in UK and European events. His near miss at that Open Championship, combined with his regular strong performances in links conditions, marks him as exactly the type of player Watson respects. Both Hatton and Fleetwood are Ryder Cup stalwarts who bring recognizable personalities and visible competitive fire to the game. Watson values their specialized mastery of the demanding links conditions and their visible competitive fire. They stand out, as observers note, from what some call the big vanilla pot of modern professional golfers with their grit and recognizable personalities. The fact that Watson includes players without major championships alongside major winners tells us something crucial about his evaluation process. He isn't simply creating a list of the most successful players by conventional measures. Instead, he's identifying the golfers who embody the qualities he considers most important: links expertise, competitive intensity, and authentic character. Hatton and Fleetwood demonstrate these traits consistently, even if they haven't yet broken through to claim a major title. Watson, having experienced both triumph and heartbreak at majors himself, understands that greatness isn't solely defined by victories. His own near win at age 60 at the 2009 Open Championship, where he came within an 8-foot putt of becoming the oldest major winner in history, taught him that the quality of the challenge matters as much as the outcome. Watson's post-playing career efforts also reveal his values and help explain his player selections. He established the Bruce Edwards Foundation for ALS research, honoring his longtime caddy who succumbed to the disease. He created the Watson Links program, which pairs youth with mentors to foster lifelong players and reinforce valuable life skills. These initiatives demonstrate Watson's commitment to the fundamental character and spirit of the game, suggesting that a player's deportment and respect for golf's traditions are critical considerations in earning his admiration. When Watson looks at modern players, he's assessing not just their shot-making ability, but their relationship to the game's deeper values. What unifies all 8 of Watson's selections is a consistent theme that runs through every choice. Every single player is connected either to excellence in links golf, particularly the Open Championship, or to moments where they forced Watson himself to perform under extreme pressure. The historical selections represent the men who forged Watson's competitive legacy by challenging him directly at Turnberry, Muirfield, and Royal Birkdale. These weren't players who simply participated in tournaments Watson won. They were the ones who pushed him to the edge, who made him dig deeper than he might have otherwise, who demanded that he produce his very best golf or lose. The margins in these competitions were razor thin, with victories decided by 1 or 4 strokes, creating pressure-packed situations that tested Watson's character and resolve. The modern selections uphold these same values in contemporary context. Scheffler provides the statistical benchmark of dominance, representing the standard that everyone else must chase. McIlroy offers generational talent combined with the integrity and sportsmanship that Watson holds dear. Hatton and Fleetwood represent a deeper appreciation for the specialized skills and competitive character required to thrive in the demanding links-style golf environment that defined Watson's greatest achievements. By prioritizing aesthetic style and specialized links mastery in these 2 players over other major champions with more impressive overall resumes, Watson affirms that competitive heart, style, and strong character are paramount in earning the admiration of a champion whose career was defined by intangibles and competitive will. Watson's list ultimately isn't about ranking the greatest players of all time by statistics alone. It's a carefully curated definition of competitive legacy built on respect earned through intensity, character, and performance in the crucible of major championship pressure. His selections tell us that he values rivals who elevated his own game, specialists who mastered the most demanding form of golf, and competitors who maintain integrity and passion in an era when the game sometimes feels sanitized by corporate sponsorships and media training. For a man who nearly won the Open Championship at age 60, coming within an 8-foot putt of becoming the oldest major winner in history by 11 years, Watson understands better than anyone what it takes to compete at the highest level. That 2009 Open Championship at Turnberry, where Watson led for most of the tournament before ultimately losing a 4-hole playoff to Stuart Sink, provides crucial context for understanding his selections. Watson had undergone hip replacement surgery shortly before the tournament, yet he mounted an astonishing challenge that captivated the golf world. Though he fell at the very last hurdle, missing that crucial putt on the 72nd hole, the experience deepened his appreciation for the immense pressure experienced by those who finish immediately behind the winner. He came to value the sheer quality and intensity of the challenge presented by a competitor, perhaps even more than the final outcome. This personal experience of heartbreak allows him to recognize and honor the competitive excellence of players like Bean and Irwin, who came so close to denying him victory. Watson's favorites are the players who embody the competitive heart, specialized skill, and unwavering character that defined his own remarkable career. They represent what he believes makes golf meaningful, not just the accumulation of trophies and prize money, but the forging of character under pressure, the mastery of demanding skills, and the maintenance of integrity and sportsmanship. In an age where distance and athleticism sometimes overshadow other aspects of the game, Watson's selections remind us that golf's greatest moments come from the interplay of skill, will, and character. His list serves as both a personal tribute to those who shaped his journey and a statement about what matters most in evaluating greatness in golf. The enduring relevance of Watson's perspective lies in how it connects different eras of golf through timeless values. While equipment technology, training methods, and course conditions have evolved dramatically since Watson's heyday, the fundamental qualities he admires remain constant. The ability to execute under pressure, the willingness to compete with honor and integrity, and the mastery of golf's most challenging environments transcend generational differences. Watson's selections bridge past and present, showing that what made champions great in the 1970s and 80s still defines excellence today. His list becomes more than just personal preference. It's a philosophical statement about the essence of competitive golf and a roadmap for what future generations should aspire to achieve. Through these 8 carefully chosen players, Watson has created a lasting testament to the values that made his own career legendary and continue to inspire those who truly understand the game. Looking at Watson's selections through the lens of modern golf reveals fascinating insights about how the game has changed while certain fundamentals remain eternal. The contemporary players he admires must navigate a vastly different landscape than Watson faced, with social media scrutiny, enormous financial pressures, and global tournaments creating demands that didn't exist in his era. Yet Watson recognizes in Scheffler, McIlroy, Hatton, and Fleetwood the same essential qualities that defined his generation. These modern modern stars face different challenges but respond with the same competitive fire and dedication to excellence that Watson exhibited. The fact that he can identify kindred spirits across such different eras speaks to his deep understanding of what truly matters in championship golf. Not the external circumstances, but the internal qualities that allow players to rise above those circumstances and perform at their best when it matters most.